It is exactly 9 p.m. East African time. Many thanks for joining us right here on Look Up Weekend. My name is John Matava. Tonight, right here on Look Up Weekend, we have a lot for you, including the crisis that the country is facing on floods. And of course, President William Ruto sends a stern warning to those practicing FGM. And of course, we'll take a look at the bipartisan talks that have come to an end in Bomas of Kenya. And of course, that and much more coming up just after the highlights.
Tonight,
Cabinet will meet on Monday to deliberate on the various recommendations that have been made to ensure that the country is better prepared for the management of the situation that we see unfolding.
Floods continue to wreak havoc in different parts of the country as President William Ruto convenes a disaster response meeting.
Maneno ya female genital mutilation is against the law, is against the constitution.
Stop the punitive culture. President William Ruto issues a stern warning to those practicing FGM, saying government will deal with them accordingly.
Welcome to the program from wherever you're watching from. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and as well as on Signet. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Josephine Oko. My name is John Matava, and let's get started. The National Dialogue Committee today met at Hilton Garden Inn to finalize the bipartisan talks that are going on. Our reporter Stanley Lugarie has been camping in that area, and he will be joining us live to give us an update on what has been happening throughout the day.
For further consideration. To this end, the National Dialogue Committee has resolved the following amongst others. Number 1, electoral justice and related matters. A, audit of the 2022 electoral process. NADCO has recommended the evaluation of the 2022 electoral process. B, restructuring and reconstitution of the IEBC. NADCO has recommended the establishment of an expanded selection panel from the current 7-member to a 9-member selection panel. C, time for resolution of presidential election petitions. NADCO recommends the increase of timelines within which the Supreme Court shall hear and determine a petition challenging the validity of a presidential election from 14 days to 21 days. D, electoral legal reforms. NADCO has recommended that legal reforms passed less than 18 months to the general elections become effective in the next electoral cycle. On cost of living, gharama ya maisha. A, NADCO recommends that all arms of government shall reduce their travel budgets by 50%. and that the Salaries and Remuneration Commission review daily subsistence allowances for state and public officers with a view to reducing by 30%. B, NADCO recommends the Minister of Energy and Petroleum in liaison with the National Treasury to reduce the road maintenance levy and the anti-adulteration levy by 5 shillings and 3 shillings per litre respectively. C, NADCO recommends that the national government finalizes the transfer of all devolved functions and provides for the concomitant resources to the county governments. D, NADCO recommends that Parliament shall amend the Constitution to provide for the equitable share to the county governments not to be less than 20% of all revenue collected by the national government from the current 15%. However, the committee was unable to reach a consensus on a number of other proposals on the matter of cost of living, including the reduction of VAT on fuel from 16% to 8%, and scrapping the housing levy. These twin issues are contained in the finance.
Well, and that is it right from the Elton Gardening bipartisan talks, with Kalonzo Musyoka just clarifying it at the end of the report. As we continue, over 1,000 residents of Ngarimara Ward in Isiolo County have been evacuated by the county government and the Kenya Red Cross teams after flood waters invaded their homes, killing 2 people and destroying property of unknown value. This adds to the current statistics, where over 75 people have so far died and more than 36,160 have been left homeless following the heavy downpour that continues to pound the country. 33 out of the 47 counties have been affected by the flooding, with the counties of Mombasa, Isiolo, Tana River and Kirinyaga counties leading as the most affected each day.
Two people have been killed and over 1,000 residents of Ngarimara Ward evacuated as raging floods continue to wreak havoc in the country. These are the scenes and what is left of what was their home, and now they're struggling with the cold as they seek even a place to lay down, setting up camp at Ngarimara Secondary School.
Tangu jana, juzi, maji imejaa kila mahali, hata imebeba watu wetu wawili, mama na kijana. Sasa hata tulikuwa tunaona kama tumesaulika kabisa. Lakini kwa bahati basi leo tumekumbukwa na serikali yetu ya kaunti. Ndio wametuleta hapa Ngaramara Secondary, wametusaidia na vitu ya kulalia, blanketi na hata kitu ya kula, kwa sababu kila kitu iliharibiwa na maji.
Hassan Abdullahi, the Chief Officer of Special Programs, said that the present situation has taken everyone back, leading to the measures that were taken yesterday night. The county government has also provided non-food aid items, including tents, mats, blankets, sanitary towels, nets, and food items.
Sasa wale wazee, wamama na watoto na wale watu walemavu na pia wananchi kwa jumla tumeweza kuwaleta hapo kwa shule, na hii capacity ya hii shule kulingana na ile population iko affected ambayo iko displaced hapa Ngarimara. Hii buildings za shule hazitoshi, so sisi kama county government tumeweza kuleta hema. We have a hema with capacity ya kubeba watu kuweka watu 800, so tuko na hiyo hema sababu hii building haitoshi. Na pia hii mkasa ya mafuriko naona iko juu sana, inahitaji a lot of resource, na sisi kama county government through the office of our governor tutakaa chini na pia tuweze kuweka rasilimali ambayo inatosha kusaidia watu wetu ndio wasiathirike na janga ya mafuriko.
So far, more than 75 people have lost their lives due to the heavy rainfall in different parts of the country, with more than 36,160 families left homeless.
Sisi sasa hatuna mbuzi, hatuna nini, kila kitu yetu imebebwa na maji, makuku nini. Sisi sasa tuko maskini kabisa. Hata sasa hivi tuko hapa, hata ile mbuzi moja ile ulitoa kwa maji hata hatujui maliko. Sisi kabisa ni waathirika ambaye tunaenda tu, Mungu ndiye anajua mambo yetu, hata hatujui kesho mambo, na hiyo kitu ndio sisi tunategemea, ndio bangi ya watoto wetu, hata school fees kesho watoto wetu sijui venye watoto wataenda shule. Na sasa hivi venye tuko hata hapa, tukaletwa sasa ile hapa, tukasaidiwa hii mahema, hii mamkeka hii tunalalia na mabrangeti. Na mimi niko na watoto 10. Watoto wangu niko na watoto 10 na wote tu wako hapa. Na sasa hivi hata niko na hiyo.
John Matava, Lookuptv.
Away from that, President William Ruto says the cabinet will meet on Monday to finalize the concrete El Nino intervention strategy. The head of state, who held a meeting with multi-agency emergency response teams headed by Cabinet Secretaries, Council of Governors Chairperson Anne Waiguru, Chief of Defence Forces Francis Ogola, Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome, among others at State House, Nairobi, says has operationalized the National Disaster Operations Center, which will incorporate with the Ministry of Transport, Health and the Council of Governors and the Kenya Defence Forces, among other stakeholders, to coordinate the emergency response.
After a back and forth pull and push and a blame game between the national government and the county governments over the ongoing El Nino rains, President William Ruto has finally risen to the occasion and constituted a powerful disaster response team to avert a looming humanitarian crisis.
We have concluded a meeting of the various multi-agency teams that are involved in assessing, managing, and providing leadership on the current situation that is going on in the country. The precipitation in the country, the rains, have resulted in an emergency situation in Kenya. Many roads across the country, especially in the northern part of Kenya, have been washed away. There are trucks stuck everywhere with food, medicines, fuel that is now unable to reach the destinations in various parts of the country, especially in northern Kenya.
To mitigate the effects of the heavy rainfall that continues to pound various places in the country, this disaster team has been given specific mandate, all geared towards saving lives and livelihoods. President Ruto has directed the disaster team to embark on immediate task of food distribution and repairs of the badly destroyed infrastructure.
Immediately, the National Disaster Operations Center has been rolled into place. Senior government officials will now move to the National Disaster Operations Center, including those from the various agencies, the military, the Ministry of Roads, the Council of Governors, and all the other stakeholders, including Ministry of Health, to make sure that we coordinate all the information, receive reports from various parts of the country, process that information, and make sure that adequate interventions are in place to manage the situations across the country, be it roads and opening of those roads, be it the situation of fuel or the situation of food.
With the Meteorological Department projecting the El Nino phenomenon to last until early next year, already more than 70 people have lost their lives and scores displaced. The head of state has instructed his cabinet to sit first thing next week to incorporate recommendations from the response team into a well-detailed action plan to manage the effects of the rains.
Unfortunately, we have lost 70 people across Kenya because of these rains, and about 36,160 households have been displaced so far. The Meteorological Department tell us that these rains will continue, and therefore we need to prepare ourselves for the emergency situation that is going to ensue.
Such response will require huge financial resources to supply aid to the affected Kenyans. President Ruto has called for a harmonious working relationship between the government and the private sector to effectively manage the situation.
The Treasury has been mandated to explore different mechanisms of funding for the requirements that will be needed so that we can have adequate resources to manage the situation.
Priority will be directed towards the adversely affected areas, with the disaster management team targeting to evacuate residents trapped in various places, unable to move to safer grounds or receive food and other personal effects due to the flooding. Military response has been activated to reach these places.
I have instructed KDF to provide their air service facilities to airlift any commodities required in different parts of Kenya, and especially the last mile deliveries in the counties that are now marooned by floods.
Individual ministries have been assigned specific response tasks that will be coordinated by the established disaster response and management team. Most notably, the Ministry of Health has been directed to ensure provision of clean water and medication to avert spread of diseases such as cholera that may arise due to the flooding. With the government and the county government appearing to read from the same script, President Ruto has advised Kenyans to remain vigilant and to move when they are required to safer places to save life. He maintains his government is more than ready to protect life and property. Henry Tendanyula, Lookuptv.
Thank you so much, Henry Tende, for that report. And of course, it takes us to a short break right on Look Up Weekend. We'll be back with much more. Stay with us.
Weekendii Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Weekendii Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Weekendii Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Weekendii Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
Welcome back to the program. My name is John Matava. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Josephine Aoko. Let's continue. The Kenya National Examination Council, NEC, has come out to address the discrepancies reported by some candidates about the just released 2023 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education KCPE results. The council, in a statement to newsrooms on Saturday, noted that it had received appeals over some errors in results obtained through the short code 40054 that was provided by the Ministry of Education.
The release of KCPE exams has been met by legitimacy questions after some of the candidates noted irregularities in their results, bringing about a public outcry and condemnation of the system. In response, NEC says procedures have been laid down to address the issues. The exam body has noted that it's normal for candidates to score similar marks in a similar subject, as the process was done under the strict watch of government. On why students were receiving Kenya Sign Language marks instead of Kiswahili, NEC says it has addressed the complaints and affected pupils have been sent correct results. NEC says pupils with more queries to submit in less than 30 days. The exam results celebration is, however, not cutting across board, as learners of 5 schools in troubled Chesogon and Cheptulel areas of West Pokot County who did not sit for their KCPE and KPSE exams this year to the banditry witnessed in the region lack a reason to smile. The schools Cheptulel, Samplomoi, Chesagon, Apollo and KCA primary schools along the West Pokot and Algeo Marakwet border were closed 2 years ago following rampant killings and attacks in the region.
Sana kwa ulinzi kwa pande hii. Sisi kama watu ya Cheptulel tumewachwa nyuma kabisa. Tunataka kusema ya kwamba kwa sababu hii maofu yote ambayo imefanyika, ambayo ukiona hii mashule aswa hii ya Cheptulel Boys, kuna ile ya Kasa, kuna ile ya Sapulmoi, kuna hata Cheptulel Primary, kuna hata Arpolo ambayo iko mbele. Wanafunzi hawasomi, wanafunzi wamehama, wengine wameoleka kwa sababu hakuna security.
Speaking to Lookuptv on Friday, locals lament that they have nothing to celebrate about in the just released KCP results, as many of their children missed the examinations due to insecurity. Even few learners who sat for the exams did not perform well due to runaway insecurity that has been rampant in the region.
Majina ni Mwalimu Musa Kariwoi. Mimi ni mwalimu kutoka eneo hili ya Cheptulel, Chesegon. Mashule mengi upande huu imefungwa kwa sababu ya insecurity. So wanafunzi wetu tangu mwaka jana hawajaonekana, hatujui walienda wapi, walihama na wazazi wao wapi. So tunaomba serikali watusaidie ili tufungue haya mashule.
The frequent attacks and killings targeting teachers and learners in the region inflicted fear and trauma among the locals in the troubled Keri Valley region. Locals who also decried the situation, describing the closure of schools as unfortunate.
Tuko na shida mingi sana. Tunaishi msitu, tunalala usiku nje ya misitu, kalakala na watoto. Tumehama kilomita 5 kuanzia vile tulikuwa tunaishi. Tuko na shida mingi sana. Sisi tumeteseka, majirani wetu wamepewa KBR, lakini sisi hatuna KBR. Na hao wenyewe wanajua kuchikinga, wako na vitu yao, na sisi West Pokot hatuna. Mbuzi sote zimepelekwa na Marakwet, ng'ombe, hata watu wengi wamengamishwa. Tuko sahi tunakaa bure tu katika misitu. Watoto hawasomi, masomo imesha katishwa.
A spot check in the affected schools shows ugly scenes and ruins of vandalized property, destroyed empty desks, and scattered books on the floors of classrooms. Long-grown grasses and anthills homes are seen in the school compound. Aludagael for Lookuptv.
Thank you so much, Aluda Gal, for that story. Moving on, the Orange Democratic Movement holding party leader Raila Odinga on Saturday began his 2-day tour of Migori County. On his first day of the tour, Odinga attended the burial of the former Masaba Ward representative Abedi Maroa before moving to Nyatike Sub-County, where he presided over the launch of the ODM membership registration.
We have information that the government intends to gazette the land around this area, about 5,000 acres, as a forest land. This is being done with a very nefarious intention. This area is rich in minerals, and we know that the intention is not forestry. The intention is to grab this land so that they can be able to.
President William RUTO on Saturday graced the Marsabit Lake Turkana Cultural Festival in Loyangalani. The president was in full Somali regalia and was accompanied by other leaders. The president took the opportunity to warn against the FGM practices, saying that the government will take action on those carrying out the female genital mutilation.
It was a cultural celebration that was marked by song and dance. The pastoralist community celebrating their culture, donning traditional regalia with pride. However, a cultural tradition that has for long been associated with the community, saw President William RUTO breathing fire on those that continue to propagate it.
Nimesema hivi, maneno ya female genital mutilation is against the law, is against the constitution, is an illegal activity. And nobody, and no Kenyan, shall be subjected to female genital mutilation. No girl, no daughter in the Republic of Kenya should be subjected to such violent treatment.
The head of state also pointed his guns at early marriage, calling out men who engage in the illegal practice, as he stressed on the importance of educating the girl child.
Leo hapa ndio siku ya kwanza kwa ile activism against gender-based violence. The greatest violence ya gender ni female genital mutilation. The greatest violence kwa wasichana wetu ni kule kuolewa mapema mtoto wa miaka 12, mtoto wa miaka 15, kuna mzee mzima anaenda ati anamfanya anakuwa bibi yake. Wewe ni wazimu kiasi gani unachukua mtoto wa miaka 12 unasema anakuwa bibi yako? Bure kabisa.
The president warned against FGM, saying the government will take action on those carrying out the tradition.
Mimi nataka niwaambie hapa wazee, tafadhali, watoto ni wa kwenda shule, waende wasome. Wewe kama unatafuta bibi, ngojea. Utapatana na wale wako miaka 25 wakiendelea huko mbele. Hawa tunataka waende shule wasome. Na nyinyi kina mama, mnanisikia? Mimi naambiwa nyinyi ndio mafundi wa operation. Nyinyi ndio mnafanya operation. Sikizeni, hiyo maneno ya operation mtawacha. Na kama kuna mama anaendesha hiyo kazi, mimi nataka niwaambie chiefs, yule mama mnasikia yeye ndio mwenye hiyo kazi, huyo mama ashikwe na afungwe miaka nyingi.
To promote tourism and the culture of the pastoralist community, the head of state, however, promised to construct a cultural center that will see the showcasing of the rich culture of the community.
Huyu PS wetu Umi, nimemwambia atafute milioni 50 ya kwanza, akuje aanze kupanga mambo ya cultural center wakati tunapanga hiyo kazi kubwa ambayo inakuja baadaye.
Brian Amuai, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
From that, Samburu National Reserve has welcomed another set of twin elephants. The two new bundles of joy are believed to have been born this month. According to a statement from the Save the Elephant, an organization mandated to monitor elephants in Samburu National Park, the birth of twins comes as a pleasant surprise, since less than 1% of the elephant birth are twins. And in cases where they are born, they rarely survive. The twins, both female, were born to parent Alto from a family of the elephants known as Cloud. Crossing over to some sporting action, the Kenya national football team for players who are below 18 years, Junior Stars started their campaign in the Sekafe Under-18 tournament. Junior Stars thrashed Sudan 5-0 in their first Group A match, played today at Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Kisumu County. In other matches, Rwanda picked a 1-0 win against Somalia at 10. 82 Ultimate. Eight teams in Nairobi are set to compete for 1 million shillings reward of the 82 Ultimate Cup tournament. The three football extravaganza, which aims at talent nurturing and environmental conservation through the planting trees, will kick off from November 30th to December 2nd this year. At the Police Sacco Stadium, the launch was graced by former Tottenham player Victor Wanyama alongside McDonald Mariga.
Tulikuwa inspired na kusaidia vijana kusupport grassroots level football, kutoa vijana kwa mihadarati, because tukuweka busy, at least kuna mtu mahali hata umia manini ya manini, because most of the time an idle mind, kijana akiwa na idle mind inakuwa mbaya. So through this initiative ya 82 Sports.
Well, and that is it from the desk right here on Look Up Weekend. Many thanks for joining us from wherever you've been watching from. My name is John Matava. Our sign language interpreter has been Josephine Oko. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, we wish you a very fantastic weekend. Stay with us.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to info@lookuptv.co.